He spent 15 years behind bars for a crime he did not commit. He was just exonerated September 30th, 2021. Let's bring him on. Mr. Juwan Deering, how are you, sir?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Man, September 30th. How are you feeling? Being exonerated at such a short amount of time. How are you feeling? How's your spirit? How's your soul doing?
Oh, it's floating on cloud nine. Every day I wake up, it's just wonderful to see, hear, smell freedom. Point blank. So I every day, I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I wake up and I see my family members. It's just a wonderful thing. It's just a feeling I can't really explain. But
Yeah,
I'm up
I can
there.
imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. So let's go back to 2000, before this incident happened. Before we talk about that, just tell me
hmm
that the man that you were in the year 2000, the person that you were before all this happened to you.
Yes, the person that I was in the street hustling, and I had been in the street for some time, and I had various people that I dealt with in that neighborhood, and Oliver Dean happened to be one of
And Oliver Dean, is he the person that said you committed this crime?
them. No, he did not say it, but it was his family that suggested that because of his drug debt, that the
Right.
fire was caused.
Yeah. So for folks who may not know, there was a fire at a home, and children were killed. How many children lost their lives?
It was five that perished in the fire.
Yeah, and it was believed that the fire was started by someone else, and Oliver Dean had this drug debt. So the idea was that they believed you were the person who started this fire. And first of all, I just want to say, what a tragedy, and so sad that people lost their lives. Obviously that's a tragedy, and
That
the victim.
it's always a tragedy when people lose ones they love, especially those who were so young they lost their life and
Yeah,
didn't have a chance to live their life. That's tragic in itself.
yeah, really, really, really heartbreaking. But this happens. The location. This happens in Royal Oak, Michigan, in 2000. But you
hmm
aren't arrested until 2006. So
Yeah.
6 years later. So explain how you even hear that, because you had nothing to do with this incident whatsoever. There's no evidence that you committed this crime. But how are you caught up in this? How do you hear about it?
Well, basically, once that was suggested that it may be because of a drug debt that night, April 6, 2000. They turned immediately to the father and his illicit business dealings, which my name came up as one of them. Um, uh, that's when I knew, and I knew I didn't do anything, so I had nothing to hide. So I spoke to him, not knowing what was in store for him.
You spoke to the police. Wow. And
Yes,
do I have this right? Wasn't Oliver Dean, wasn't he in rehab? Do I have that correct? Is that accurate?
yes, he was in rehab based on his veterans doctor, and that's
Mm.
all I had. I had information about him at that time.
So you speak to police in 2006 because you're like, listen, I didn't do anything wrong. I did not commit this crime. I may be hustling the streets, but I didn't kill. I didn't do this arson crime. And I ask this question often because a lot of people that I know, they're innocent, so that they talk to the police. In retrospect, do you regret talking to the police, or do you feel like the same thing would have happened even if you didn't talk to the police?
Well, I shouldn't have talked to the police without counsel
Mm.
because I felt I had nothing to hide. I felt that the truth would always stand. But it's the individuals who are administering the justice at that time. Those individuals, it's a lot that weighs heavy on them too, and that part playing in this justice system. So um, they were going to achieve their means, any means necessary, as you see how the story developed.
So tell me what the trial is like. I mean, how are they able to convince people? What lies and tricks are they pulling to convince people you were a part of this when there's no forensic evidence? And what was your alibi? Where were you at the time of this incident?
Uh, First, my alibi. I was with a friend, Darius Cochran. We were 1.8 miles away or so away from Roll Oak, and we was at his grandmother's house. Um, how was the jury able to believe such a story?
Yeah.
Look at the times we in. People believe more in lies than truth, and that's a reality, and that's what we live in this world today. Where intrigue um, tends to overpower things like truth. So people like the who done it. People like to know. They like to tragedy. It's like they feed on tragedy. So, and our society has always fed on tragedy through the media, whether it be through any other outlets. That's just the way it has been. So, people would like to see that somebody did it and pay for it because of the victims.
And here's the real insidious part about it for folks who may not know your story. So they say that they got somebody, I guess, who was behind bars or so, who said that they know that you did it. But they tried to say that there was no plea, there was nothing being offered to make them say that you did it. Come to find out, that was a lie. That they did give them an offer. I mean, the prosecutor lied, and now he's being investigated. But he outwardly lied and said, "Oh no, we didn't offer them anything, not at all, nothing. They just, fessed up themselves to say that Juwan Deering was the person who committed this crime." And they lied right on you to get you behind bars. Do you have any idea why that prosecutor decided to just target you and go in on you? And I mean, outside of the race and class, but why do you think he came after you in that way?
Well, overzealousness for once, and this this was probably a totem pole for him to move to the next level in his career. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, but I know when you have people that really believe in their theory, their own opinion, and they wholeheartedly believe in it, then if you are the target of their objective, then there's nothing you can do. They're going to run over you, especially when they're the state and they have that much power and resources.
That's just crazy. And I know he's being investigated, but I cover these stories every week, Mr. Deering, and it's just these prosecutors never pay for their crimes. They really ruin people's lives. I mean, it's great that you're exonerated, and so many folks who I talk to. What about the people that put you behind bars? There needs to be punishment for that.
It should be. It should be. Immunity should be. Absolute immunity should be lifted from any individual that steps outside of his realm and duties of his office. And our legislation does not really punish those that they are within their own party. So that is one thing. One wall we have to break down is to let it be known that any judge, any prosecutor, any police that steps outside of the realm of their official duties, that they will be punished because they have no threat or they have no, you know, punishment for their or repercussions for the things they do. So they continue to do them. It has been going on just not with me, but before me, and it
Absolutely.
hasn't stopped.
So you are convicted August 1st, 2006. Your sentence is life without parole. Uh, when you're convicted, what happens to you? How are you feeling when that conviction comes down on you?
I felt like that whole building was on top of me when I was convicted that day. I was numb. I was shocked. It's like I had just been shot and I couldn't move. So it was just, it was unreal to me, and I didn't move. I just looked back at my family and just walked through the door. I was devastated.
And 15 years behind bars, you're 35 years old at the time of your conviction.
Hmm.
15 years, that's a lot of time to lose. How are you surviving? How are you getting by the day to day, not having your freedom?
And well, I prayed a lot. I worked out. I kept a schedule. I stayed in the law library because I believe in a just God, a just world, and I believe that God will not let me stay in jail or prison for something I didn't do. So I kept up the fight. I was optimistic, and I just pushed forward every day. I had to live.
Mr. Deering, when you're, I mean, you're 35 at this point, and 36, 37, 38. Are you seeing this through, because black men are wrongfully convicted 7 times more than white men. Are you seeing this through a racial lens, or are you seeing the disparity in that way? Like, this is obviously, there's a reason why I got caught up in this system, or are you not even thinking that at this point when you're behind bars in that law library fighting for your freedom?
Oh, I think you think about all of it, and you see it in the whole 60-degree view. And truthfully, yes, it could be, and basically is most of the times racially motivated. When you have a family, a single white mother with mixed children, and she says something to the police then takes her word, gives it more weight. What can you do? And a
Oh, I
black
didn't
nigga,
know that angle. Oh, the mother of these children, she was white and her kids were black. Oh, I didn't know that angle. That's a whole other level. Wow.
so you in Oakland County, and you have to understand how Oakland County is. They are tough on crime, and they don't like any things going on to tarnish their image. So they they had a definite hard on to close this case, and I was the target.
Do you think that single mom, do you think she knew that you were innocent, or do you think she really believed that you were guilty?
Well, I believe that she knew I was innocent, but I don't know how she feels or what she really thinks at this time. Um, but I was just the neighbor that rolled past, waved, and kept on going. I never had any interactions with her and her family, except Big Mike, who didn't live there. So
It's so crazy. So many of these stories that I covered, I mean, maybe about 80% of them, it is a white woman who has accused a black man of something.
I
Wow.
call it this. I call it the Susan Smith syndrome.
Susan
I'm
Smith,
sorry to
her
say, yeah,
children, no, she
yeah,
drowned her children and blamed it on a black man. But
yes.
how many Susan Smiths get away with it? You know what I mean? Like,
Thousands, hundreds of thousands, and you think that is not the epitome of a lot of these murders in the past? Yes, a white woman claimed that she was either raped or a black man did something, and they went and killed many other black men. You know.
that's wild. That's very interesting. So explain how you are finally exonerated. You've some great work with the Innocence Project, but how does it finally happen?
Well, through hard work and effort of the Innocence Clinic and the prosecutor's office, Karen McDonald, they reviewed the case, After my appeal failed in February of 2021, um, my attorney reached out to them and asked them to review it, look at it, and that's when she found everything. Now, just think about, she found over 10 Brady violations. How many other previous prosecutors looked at the same file and just tucked it under the rug? That's right.
The state of Michigan has not compensated you. Hopefully, they will. I think there should be a $1 trillion fund for people who are wrongfully convicted. So the
Yes.
millisecond they get out behind bars, I just, yeah, it just that makes no sense. But in the meantime, my audience, they can donate to your Cash App if they are. I know it's rough times. If you can, feel free. It is $ Juwan, which is JUWAN Deering, DEERING. That's $JUWANDEERING, and we'll put that in the video that'll go on YouTube as well. I want to thank you so much for sharing your story, Mr. Deering. It's really important. I'm happy that you made it out on the other side. And I
Yeah.
just think of this insidious prosecutor. I don't even want to say his name, but he's obviously
Yeah. I
trash
try to
and
forget his
soulless.
name.
Right. And the thing is, how many other people did he F over
Right.
that like everything, every single case he did in Michigan should be investigated. Every single one.
Exactly.